This Friday, $5,500 checks will arrive in your bank accounts, all because of the Social Security Administration, SSA. This news impacts you positively regardless of whether you get benefits from the VA for veterans, SSI, SSDI, or Social Security. Let us now examine the specific details. Who is qualified to receive this kind payouts? It's likely that you're eligible for this additional benefit if you already enjoy any of these advantages. And for what reason are these checks being sent out? Put simply, the goal is to provide much-needed financial relief to assist veterans, people with disabilities, and elders around the country. But there's still more. The big day is this Friday, so make sure everything is ready for you to get paid. Additionally, remember to share the news. To let your neighbors, relatives, and friends know about this, show them this video. The SSA has unexpectedly disclosed its intentions to provide $5,500 one-time payments to millions of Americans who depend on government assistance programs. In light of rising inflation and rising living expenses, this historic cash infusion is intended to give some of the most vulnerable communities in the country much-needed financial relief. Let's examine the implications of this revelation for each beneficiary group. Recipients of Social Security. This Friday, April 21st, the Social Security Administration, SSA, may be able to pay $5,500 to you if you are currently receiving retirement payments. This sizable amount is meant to partially counteract the effects of inflation, which over the past few years has been slowly reducing the purchasing power of fixed incomes. The average monthly Social Security payout for retired workers was $1,827 in 2023, while for aged couples, it was $1,011, according to the Social Security Administration. A lot of seniors are finding it difficult to make ends meet as the cost of necessities like food, housing, and healthcare keeps rising. The $5,500 payment can give seniors a much-needed financial lift, enabling them to pay for urgent medical expenditures, make up on past due payments, or just have a little more wiggle space in their budgets. Those who receive Supplemental Security Income, SSI. The $5,500 payment is also eligible to be given to those who are receiving SSI, a needs-based program that offers financial aid to low-income people who are blind, crippled, or 65 years of age or older. In 2023, the SSI maximum monthly payout was $914 for single beneficiaries and $1,371 for couples, meaning that many people were far below the federal poverty level. For some SSI recipients, the one-time $5,500 payment may be genuinely life-changing. It might enable them to escape poverty and give others the money they need to pay for needs like food, housing, and utilities. Furthermore, the payment would assist SSI beneficiaries in meeting the costs of transportation, essential medical equipment, and other disability-related expenses that frequently put a burden on tight budgets. Recipients of Social Security Disability Insurance, SSDI. The notification from the SSA also covers recipients of SSDI benefits, which are given to those who have paid Social Security taxes and worked, but are unable to work because of a serious long-term disability. It can be difficult to make ends meet for many SSDI recipients because their monthly disability benefits are their only source of income, particularly in light of growing expenses. In addition to helping to pay for necessities, the $5,500 payment may offer a much-needed financial lifeline and lessen some of the stress and financial load that come with having a disability. Recipients of Veterans Affairs, VA, benefits. Lastly, veterans who receive benefits from the Department of Veterans Affairs, VA, are covered by the SSA's notice. This covers pensions, disability benefits, and other types of financial aid given to former members of the U.S. Armed Forces. VA benefits are an important source of income for many veterans, but they might not always be enough to support living expenses, particularly for those who have impairments related to their service or face other financial difficulties. These people may benefit from the $55,500 payout, which would make it easier for them to pay for housing, needed medical care, and other costs. Details of eligibility and distribution. Beneficiaries are excited and hopeful after the SSA's announcement, but many still want clarification on the precise eligibility standards and the $5,500 payment distribution procedure. The SSA states that those who are receiving Social Security, SSI, SSDI, or VA benefits as of March 2023 will automatically receive the payments. The administration intends to use current beneficiary information to identify qualified users, so no new applications or paperwork will be needed. Depending on the person's preferred mode of receiving benefits, the funds will either be placed onto their current payment card or distributed electronically through direct deposit, according to the agency. The SSA will send a separate $5,500 check by Friday, April 21st, to people who usually receive paper checks. It's crucial to remember that although the $5,500 payments are meant to help with financial hardship, the amounts are not thought to be a long-term boost in regular benefit levels. Instead, they are a one-time lump sum payment intended to handle the pressing issues brought on by growing living expenses and inflation. Acquiescence and importance. Recipients and advocacy groups have reacted to the SSA's statement with a mixture of relief, appreciation, and cautious hope. Maria Gonzalez, Executive Director of the National Council on Aging, stated, "This unexpected payment could be a life-changing event for millions of Americans who have been struggling to make ends meet. An additional $5,500 might make the difference for a lot of elderly and disabled people living on fixed incomes between being able to pay for needs and having to do without." In a similar vein, the AARP, one of the biggest advocacy groups for senior citizens in the country, applauded the action, calling it a critical step toward resolving the financial difficulties that retirees and low-income individuals confront. While this one-time payment is certainly not a long-term solution, it provides immediate relief and acknowledges the very real struggles that millions of older Americans have been facing due to rising inflation and costs. Joanne Jenkins, CEO of AARP, stated, "We applaud the SSA for taking this decisive action and urge policymakers to continue exploring ways to strengthen the financial security of our nation's most vulnerable populations." On the other hand, some people are worried about how the $5,500 payments would affect means-tested benefit programs like Medicaid and the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP. Jennifer Irvin, a policy analyst at the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, stated, "It's crucial that the SSA and other agencies provide clear guidance on how these one-time payments will be treated for the purposes of determining ongoing eligibility for other assistance programs. We don't want to see a situation where this much-needed financial relief inadvertently disqualifies individuals from other vital sources of support." Beneficiaries and advocacy groups are overwhelmingly feeling grateful and relieved despite these worries. Many see the $5,500 payment as a lifeline, a chance to pay off past due debts, cover the cost of necessary medical care, or just give themselves a little extra breathing room in their budgets. Samuel Thompson, a 72-year-old retiree, stated, "I've been struggling to make ends meet on my Social Security benefits alone. This $5,500 payment feels like a heavenly present. It will enable me to settle my outstanding medical debt and even have some money left over to spoil my grandchildren and myself." Given that April 21st is the distribution date, as the day of the payment draws near, millions of Americans will be anxiously anticipating their $5,500 check, hoping that this unexpected windfall will offer much-needed relief from the growing strains of inflation and rising living expenses. Even while many beneficiaries may still have difficult times ahead of them, the SSA's news serves as a reminder that lawmakers are acting to alleviate the financial problems that some of the most vulnerable groups in the country are facing. It remains to be seen whether this one-time payment will be followed by more significant and long-lasting measures to increase the financial stability of those reliant on Social Security, SSI, SSDI, and VA payments, while the country continues to struggle with economic challenges. For millions of Americans, however, the $5,500 checks that are scheduled to arrive this Friday offer a much-needed lifeline and a ray of optimism. Across the nation, excitement and anticipation are abound as word of the $5,500 payments spreads. The announcement has given people who are struggling to make ends meet a much-needed morale boost and a renewed feeling of hope in retirement communities, senior living communities, and veteran support organizations. The $5,500 payout is a unique chance for 68-year-old widow Martha Jenkins, who is completely dependent on her late husband's Social Security survivor benefits to treat herself to something she has long wanted. She smiles and says, "I've had to pinch every penny for years just to cover the basics. I'm going to finally take that Alaskan cruise I've always wanted with this extra money. It'll be a beautiful way to remember my husband and give myself some brand new, happy memories." The families who are taking care of loved ones with impairments have also felt relief from the announcement.